Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
Oh, good, good. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Sorry, I had to
So, Rena, hi, it's Jake.
Hi, Jake.
I'm not staying on
Okay.
because I can't. I wasn't planning on it. We
Yes.
already have participants, so everything that you're saying is heard.
Okay.
And I'm going to start the recording, which will come back to me later tonight when you guys are done.
Okay, sounds good.
But I think Haley was going to jump on and see if you needed any help because she and Alfonso are the hosts. I don't know if you saw my text. It wouldn't let me make you a host because your email is too new. I don't know how that works, but I had the same problem last year with Laura.
Okay, no worries. That's okay. Thank you.
Okay.
I just want to.
Are you all able to make me a co-host so I can share the PowerPoint? Or did I already send it to you?
You don't need to be a co-host. You're a panelist because it's a webinar format. So you'll be able to share it. I will check and make sure. Let me see.
It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, I'm working on it right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. We're Yvonne and I are going to be interpreting tonight for everybody. We will be turning our cameras off, and you'll see us turning our cameras on. Please don't pay attention. That's our send-off between us, and we'll be monitoring the chat, the question and answer, to see if there's any questions in Spanish. We will translate them to you there, and then you can answer on air. Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
Okay. And then just while we wait, I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We're just going to wait a few more minutes. Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started. So thank you everybody for joining. I'd like to introduce Kirsty Thompson. She will be speaking to us about Ventura College Community Foundation, the scholarships and what they have to offer. And then we also have 2 interpreters here. So if you guys need any interpretation, please make sure that you are dialing the phone number on the Zoom page. So para interpretación, si pueden marcar ese número de teléfono si necesitan alguna interpretación durante esta Zoom meeting. Okay, so my name is Rena Campos. I am the College and Career Counselor from Royal High School. And again, I'd just like to thank Kirsty Thompson for being here. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to her. I just want to go over a few items. So I know you guys might have a lot of questions. I just want to make sure that we hold those in the Q&A. I will be going over the Q&A during the presentation. I know you guys might be tempted to raise your hand. We cannot interrupt the program while Kirsty is presenting. So if you could please just make sure you're using that Q&A button there below. And you are being recorded. We cannot see you. We can't see anybody here other than the presenter and myself. So again, please feel free to write down any questions you might have in the Q&A, and please feel safe to do so. Whenever this meeting is over, we will include this webinar on our Simi Valley Unified School website. So again, if you guys have any questions or you miss anything from this webinar, please make sure you check that. So without further ado, thank you so much. And I'm going to hand it over to Kirsty Thompson.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen real quick. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. And can you see my PowerPoint on the screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Kirsty Thompson, and I am the director of the scholarship program at the Ventura County Community Foundation. And I am happy to be here tonight to talk to you about the 2024-2025 scholarship program. So with that, we're going to just jump right in. I do want to share that this presentation won't take a full hour. It'll probably take 20-25 minutes. So we'll have plenty of time at the end for questions and answers. So don't worry about us running out of time. So I want to give you some stats from last year. We awarded 530 scholarships to local students last year that totaled over $1.7 million. And for this next cycle, we actually are adding funds to our program. So we will be awarding even more than that in the coming year. We need you all to know what our time frame is. The application portal is going to open on Friday, November 8th, and it will close on January 15th. So students have between November 8th and January 15th to sign up for an account, fill out the application, and hit the submit button. And the application can be accessed at that website right there, vccf.academicworks.com. And students need to create an account to apply for the scholarship. And students should not use their school email address when they're creating that account, because once they graduate, that email address goes away, and we will be in contact with your students for the next several years. So we want to make sure that the email address that they use to create that account is a personal email account and not a school account. And you can see this graphic here. This is exactly what the landing page looks like when you go to this website. And you can see on the top right, it says sign up. That's how you establish an account. So for the application, I'm going to kind of go through kind of the toughest parts of the application. The total application is about 120 questions, but probably 115 of those are pretty easy, yes, no, very simple questions, but there are a few things that students need to be aware of. First up, they have to upload an unofficial transcript or a student profile into the application. And the applicants unweighted GPA must be visible on that document, or it will not be considered. So again, it's an unofficial transcript from their high school or their student profile, but whichever one they use, it has got to have their unweighted GPA visible. Otherwise, we will not accept it. So you want to make sure that that unweighted GPA is visible. Also, our application requires 2 reference contacts. And one of those reference contacts needs to be a current teacher or a current counselor from their high school. The second reference can be another teacher or counselor, or it can be somebody from out in the community, maybe a coach, somebody from church, if they're employed from their employer. It just cannot be from a family member or a friend. So again, 2 reference contacts are required, and we don't require a letter of reference. Basically, the students, when they apply, will just write the reference's name and email into the reference section and press save. And when that's done, a link to our reference questionnaire is emailed to that reference. They fill it out and then they send it back into our system. If by chance the reference has already written a letter of reference for the student, there is a place where they can upload that in the reference questionnaire. So again, 2 references are required, and it's first and last name and their email contact. If possible, we ask students to try and get a personal email from their teachers, but if that's not possible, we'll work with it. Sometimes the school's firewalls don't let our emails through, but we can work through that with all the individual schools. Some of our scholarships, so we have probably about 125, 130 different scholarships that we offer. And all of those scholarships are made available by very generous donors in Ventura County who believe in our students and who believe in the power of an education. Some of those scholarships do require that the student applicant demonstrate financial need. Now, not all of them do that, but a certain percentage of them do. And the way a student demonstrates financial need is there are 3 questions in the application that determine financial need. And essentially, what the student applicant will need to know is the parent or guardian's income from the latest tax return and their assets to answer the 3 financial need questions. So if you're a parent here, you might need to help your student with those questions. And essentially, on the landing page of the application, it talks about financial need requirement, and there's a resource that you can click. It's a live link that goes through what the requirements are and how you meet them. And in the application itself, that resource is also in the help text of the questions about financial need. And essentially, that's it. They only have to answer those 3 questions. They do not have to upload a tax return, nothing like that. They just answer those 3 questions. Some other things that you need to be aware of, resources for you. First of all, there's a document called the 2024-2025 Scholarship Guidelines. Those will be posted on the VCCF Scholarship website and also on the application landing page by the time that we open, okay? Those guidelines list each and every scholarship opportunity, what the amount of the scholarship is, and all the different qualifications, okay? So those will be available when the program opens. The general application this year requires actually 3 short general essays. The first essay question is, tell us about yourself. So the student can take that in a lot of different directions. The second question is, please tell us about your education and career goals and what or who inspired you to achieve them. And then the third question is, VCCF scholarships provide financial support for an education. what opportunities does that open up for you? And those are the 3 essay questions, and 2 of them are 300 words and 1 is 500 words. And you know, your student, when they are completing their application, they can save the application. They don't have to do it all in one sitting. So they can save it and come back to it and work on this, you know, over several weeks. Oh, sorry about that. The other thing you want to be aware of is we have 2 different types of scholarships. We have ones that are considered auto match, and that's most of our scholarships. And what that means is if your student fills out the general application and hits submit, all of the auto match scholarships, they will be considered for. The system will automatically pull them into the scholarship opportunities that they qualify for. We have a small number of scholarships that are considered apply to, and those scholarships require an additional essay in addition to the 3 that are in the general app. And your student will have access to those after they submit the general application. So essentially, once they complete the general application and hit submit, a screen will pop up and will say, do you want to review any of these apply to opportunities? And they can click a button and then they will be able to complete the separate essay. But again, like 90% of our scholarships are auto match. So if they at least get through the general application, they're going to be applying for like 110 different scholarships. Important dates. Again, our application opens on November 8th. And so students can start working on it that day. January 15th, the application will close for student submissions. January 24th is when the application closes for the reference submissions. So the references have a few extra days to get those done, but the students' deadline is January 15th. And then this year, the list of awardees will be approved by our board on April 28th. So students will get an email from the system on April 29th, letting them know which awards they were chosen for. Here is our team. So I'm Kirsty Thompson. I'm the scholarship director. You've got my direct line there and my email. Sierra Kettenberg is the scholarship coordinator. You've got her phone number and her email as well. Our website is posted there, vccf.org/scholarships. And then also the application site, which is vccf.academicworks.com. So that's the information that you need. Sierra and I are both here to support you and your students with this application process. And we are very responsive. So please do not hesitate at all to reach out with any questions about the application. We will typically do a review of applications that come in through the month of December. So if we see a student uploaded something that, like maybe their GPA wasn't visible, we'll outreach to that student and say, you've got to upload something that's got your GPA visible. If students are submitting their applications in January, we're not going to have the capacity to do that because it gets super, super busy in January. So I would encourage you to start the application early because while it's not difficult, it's a long process. So I would encourage you to start early. And with that, that's kind of the content. And I would be happy to open this up now for questions from the audience, because I'm sure many people have a lot of questions, and we've got the time to do that. So can we do that?
Yeah, so I actually have a few in the Q&A.
Okay.
I have the first one is, how many students applied last year?
That's a great question. Last year we had a huge increase. So the year before last, we had 972 applicants. Last year we had 1,476. So we had an increase in applications of 50%.
Okay, thank you. And then somebody asked, are the recording of this webinar will be available to us? So yes, the recording of this webinar will be available once it is done. And then we close out, it will be available on the Simi Valley Unified School website. Another one is, can you please repeat the 3 essay questions for the application?
I can. So the first essay question is, tell us about yourself. And that is a 300 max word essay, and the student can really kind of take that wherever they want. It's kind of a personal introduction. The second question is, tell us about your educational and career goals and what or who inspires you to achieve them. So in that essay question, they're going to write about where they want to go to college, what's their major if they have one, that type of thing. And then the third one is VCCF scholarships provide, financial support for college. What opportunities does this open for you? So essentially, how is this scholarship going to make a difference for you as a student? And that one is 300 words.
Awesome, thank you. Another asked, if a student is given an award, can it be deferred? And if so, for how long?
Excellent question. Yes, scholarships can be deferred for up to 1 year. So if they get the award in May of 2025, they have to let us know by September of 2025 whether they want to defer it or not. And there is a deferral process. Essentially, we send them a form, they fill it out, and they send it back to us. And it can be deferred until September of 2026.
Awesome, thank you. Another one asked, are the scholarships only for seniors or can other grades apply for them?
So the scholarship serves graduating high school seniors and up. So if you've got community college students, 4-year students, grad level, we serve the lowest level we serve is high school seniors. So they can't apply until they're a graduating high school senior. But they should apply every single year because these scholarships are available every single year. So you don't want them just to apply as they're graduating. You want them to apply every single year.
Thank you. Another question, will a GPA affect the likelihood of receiving a scholarship?
So that's a good question. So some of our scholarships have a minimum GPA, and the minimum GPA on most of those is 3.0. But not all of them require a minimum GPA. So the ones that require a GPA, as long as you're at that 3.0 or higher, you're going to qualify for. And if your GPA is lower than 3.0, you will still qualify for all the ones that don't have a GPA requirement.
Thank you. Another question, what is the amount range of the scholarships and what percentage of people are awarded versus how many apply?
Okay, so the award amounts vary. Our lowest award amount is $500. Our highest award amount is $11,000. I would say typically the scholarships are $1,000, $2,500, $5,000. Last year we had 1,476 applicants. We gave out 530 awards, and we gave those awards out to, I think, 320 individual students. So some students got more than one award. We do cap your award amount at $10,000. So students cannot get more than $10,000 worth of awards from us.
Thank you. Another question, can it be any teacher, for reference, a teacher that they knew or had outside of school?
So one reference needs to be from a current teacher or counselor. The other one can be from a past teacher or counselor, and it doesn't have to be from inside the school. No.
Okay, thank you. Another question, are all of the scholarships
I'm so
financially?
sorry, interpreter clarification. Was the answer yes from outside school or no? I'm so sorry.
One reference needs to be from a current teacher or counselor at the school they are attending. The other reference can be somebody from outside the school, like a boss, a coach, somebody from their church. It just can't be a family member or a friend.
Okay, and another question, are all of the scholarships financially need-based?
No, no, only about maybe half. That's a guess on my part, but no, not all of them require financial need. So do not let your financial situation stop you from applying.
Okay, thank you. Another one, just by being a student at Santa Susana High, is a student privy to these scholarships, and any scholarships she earns can be used at any school in the nation?
So if your student is at Santa Susana High, we were out at Santa Susana today doing a presentation at lunch. And we'll probably go back out there. So yes, and all, we work with all the college counselors. So we have emailed all the college counselors, we have sent our flyer, we have told them we would be happy to come out and do presentations. A lot of schools take advantage of that. CME always takes good advantage of that. Not all school districts do. So yes, your student at Santa Susana High School should be aware of this program. And what was the second part of that?
I believe it was any scholarship she earns can be used at any school in the nation.
Yes. Now, some of our scholarships have qualifications, like for example, the Basel Scholarship. That scholarship requires the student to go to a public school in the state of California, a public four-year school. So basically a UC or Cal, a state school, but every scholarship is different. So, the best thing to do is get the general application in, because your student's going to be auto matched to the ones that they qualify for, and then to take a look at the apply to. But most of the scholarships, you can go to any school in the United States.
Great, thank you. A parent is asking what is the bracket between tax or income tax for a scholarship?
I can't answer that off the top of my head. You're gonna have to wait until the November 8th application opens, and you can click, there's a live link on the application landing page that describes the financial need qualifications, and it's essentially based on family size, family income from last year. And so you have to, it's a drop-down menu and you select from that. But I don't have that in front of me right now. It's a lot of information.
Okay, thank you. Another question, how much money are the scholarships? And so we answered that a little bit earlier. The scholarships range anywhere between $500 to $11,000.
Correct.
Okay. Let's see, another question is, when can students apply, as early as what grade? And I believe it has to be graduating seniors.
Correct. Graduating high school seniors is the youngest age that can apply. So if you've got juniors, sophomores, or freshmen, they can't apply this year. They can apply when they're a graduating high school senior.
Okay, and then another question, can a student win more than one scholarship?
Yes.
Yes.
They can win up to $10,000 worth of scholarships from us. And then we have one award that's $11,000, and that the person that gets that's the only award they get. So you can win several scholarships, but the most we will give an individual student is $10,000.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, another question. Are the number of students awarded single awards, or do students receive more than one, where each award is counted as one, if that makes sense?
So students, I think I said we gave out 520 awards to 319 students. So you can tell, a lot of kids got more than one scholarship. So yes, a student can get more than one, and each individual scholarship is counted individually. So we had some students that got 2, some that got 5, some that got 3. But again, the most we will give an individual student is $10,000.
Thank you. Another question, is this only for low-income families?
It is not. We have many, many scholarships that do not require financial need. So regardless of your income, if it's high or low, your student should be applying. This is all local money. These are all local money. So you know, your students' chances of getting these types of scholarships is much higher than getting one, you know, where they offer one national award.
Thank you. Another question for each of the 3 essays. Is it 300 to 500 words each essay, or is it 300 to 500 words altogether of the 3 essays combined?
The first essay, which is tell us about yourself, is 300 words. The second essay about major and career goals is 500 words. And the third one about opportunities is 300 words. So it's 3 different essays. 2 of them have a 300 max word count. 1 has a 500 max word count.
Thank you. Why should we apply every year?
Because we don't offer renewable scholarships, applicants have to apply every single year. And I can tell you that many returning applicants get scholarships year after year. The woman that used to be in my position as the scholarship director actually went to community college, finished her 4-year degree, got her master's and her PhD supported through the VCCF scholarship program. So it is worthwhile to have your student apply every year. But they're not renewable. You have to apply every year.
Thank you. Another question, do you have to be a Ventura County resident to receive a scholarship, or is attending a school in Ventura County enough?
That is a great question. So many of our scholarships say you have to be a Ventura County resident. Many of our scholarships say you have to be graduating from a school in Ventura County. So if you live outside of Ventura County, but you attend a school in Ventura County, you're going to qualify for those ones, but you're not going to qualify for the ones if you don't live in Ventura County. So even if you live outside of Ventura County and you go to school in a Ventura County school, you should apply.
Great, thank you. Another question, if you get an award 1 year, can you receive it another year if you apply again?
You can apply for it again. It's not guaranteed again, but you can apply for it again. We don't offer automatic renewal scholarships, but you can absolutely apply for it again.
Okay, thank you. Can you apply to both auto match and apply to, or is it one or the other?
You can apply to both. So what you're going to do, your student is going to fill out the general application, which is like what they're going to access when they hit the landing page. When they hit submit for their general application, a window is going to pop up and will say, do you want to look at these other apply to opportunities? And then they can apply for those. They can review them and determine if they're qualified. And if they are, they hit the essay button and they write the additional essay. So they can absolutely apply for both. Remember though, the application deadline is January 15th. So if they don't complete their general application until January 13th, they're only gonna have 2 days to get all their apply to essays in. So you want them to start the application early.
Thank you. Another question, if my student is going to community college first, will that lower the amount a student can get?
Not necessarily, no. So community colleges, we get a lot of money sent back to us from community colleges. So if your student's going to go to community college for 1 year and you can afford that 1 year, you can defer for the second year. But you can only defer for 1 year. So if your student is only going to go for 2 years, you know, they may not need a scholarship because of the Promise program, which, you know, pays for 2 years of community college if your student applies after they graduate from high school and they're going to community college full time. So that is something to look into, the Promise program at our local community colleges.
Awesome. Another question is, if you have someone who is going to graduate school, can they apply to this scholarship as well?
Absolutely, they can. We have many scholarships that serve graduate level students.
Okay, another question, I believe it was asked earlier, bracket range of parents' income.
You'll have access to that on the landing page on November 8th. I can't pull that up right now.
Okay. Another question, is there an age limit to be eligible for a scholarship?
There's no age limit. So if you are a returning student after, like, let's say your reentry, you went to school 7 years ago and now you're coming back, you are eligible. There's no age guidelines.
Thank you. Another question, do our past grades affect the scholarships?
What affects the scholarship is your cumulative GPA. And our scholarship readers, who are all volunteers, do look at the transcripts. So, they are going to look at grades and stuff. But again, if our scholarship has a minimum GPA guideline, that's how the application is pulled into that scholarship application, or that scholarship pool. But yes, the readers and scorers do look at transcripts.
Thank you. Again, can the student apply for scholarships only if they studied in Ventura County?
So most of our scholarships either require that the student is a resident of Ventura County or attends a school in Ventura County. So if you don't attend a school in Ventura County and you don't live in Ventura County, you're most likely not going to get an award from us. We are a Ventura County Community Foundation, so we serve Ventura County.
Thank you. Another question, what about when a student moves out of Ventura County? Like they are currently here, they move out, they move to a different county, and then they want to apply again. Can they still?
If they move because they're going to school in another county and their home is still here, like their home base, that's okay. But if the whole family moves out of Ventura County and, they go to apply again and they say, oh, I live in Riverside now, they won't be considered.
Okay, thank you. My student is a junior now at Royal. Can she apply now for the fall 2026 school year?
No, the juniors are not eligible to apply. The earliest she can apply is as a graduating high school senior. So next year.
Great, thank you. Another question, let's say you apply for financial aid at a school. Will the scholarship affect if you apply for financial aid?
It's not supposed to, but sometimes it does. So what your student would get an award letter emailed to them, and it's best to talk to your financial aid advisor about that, because you don't want it to displace your financial aid. You can always defer it for up to 1 year. But we're seeing less displacement than we used to. But again, you want to go into this with eyes wide open. And you have the option to defer some or all of the scholarships for up to 1 year.
Awesome, thank you so much. It looks like we don't have any other questions at the moment. If anybody else has any other questions, we'll stay on for a little bit longer.
And please do not hesitate to reach out. These were all excellent questions. And if you forget it, just call us or email us. We are super, super responsive, and we are here to support you and your students getting this application in.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then I also just want to chime in and let you all know, thank you again for joining us. We will be hosting, I know, speaking for Royal High and Santa Sue, as well as Simi High, we will all be hosting, hopefully, Ventura County Community Foundation scholarships. They will be on our campus, so please make sure your students are aware, and please make sure that you are checking our newsletters and our announcements coming from district or school sites. Does anybody else have any other questions?
No questions from the bridge line.
Okay, it looks like we're getting a lot of thank yous. Okay, if nobody else has any other questions, I think we're just going to wrap it up here. There's another question. Are there any scholarships I can apply to today?
Nope, we don't open until November 8th.
Okay, any other questions? Yes, so the PowerPoint and the recording of this presentation will be available on the school website. You can go ahead and check tomorrow. Hopefully it will be up. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to go ahead and end the presentation. Thank you so much, Kirsty, and
Of course.
interpreters for being here. We really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to help our students and supporting our families as well.
I appreciate being here and being able to share, and I encourage you all, any questions, do not hesitate to reach out.
Okay. All righty, everybody. Thank you so much. Presentation is over. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.